Hey, this is Teresa Matsura, and you're listening to Uncanny Japan. I'm going to interrupt my regularly scheduled episode to bring you the literally breaking news that perhaps some of you have already heard. I think we can all agree that times are tough. More than tough, they're overwhelming. Over and over, we think to ourselves, it can't get any worse. And then it gets worse. Well, in the couldn't have predicted that new hell category, we have this month's news. Yes, on March 5th, the infamous Japanese killing stone, the Sessho Seki, cracked in half, releasing a powerful chaos-causing nine-tailed fox spirit. Maybe? Maybe not. I'll let you be the judge. Would you like to explore the stranger, more obscure corners of Japanese culture? Dig a little deeper into superstitions, curious customs, and all those mysterious creatures that inhabit the land? If so, then this is the podcast for you. Uncanny Japan is where I, author Teresa Matsura, share all the fascinating tidbits I unearth while doing research for my writing. From the bizarre to the ghastly, and everything in between. I hope you enjoy the show. I want to thank everyone who reached out and let me know about the stone-splitting news. You are all so on top of things. I was able to follow along with the story, read up on the rock's history, and dig into some Japanese sites with information that I don't see being talked about in English. So you'll get some new stuff here. But for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let me sum up the Japanese article in Yahoo News. In Tochigi Prefecture on March 7th, an employee who worked with the Nasu Tourist Information Center visited the site of the Sessho Seki, the killing stone, and confirmed that the large rock was broken in half. The holy rope that was draped around it had also fallen off. The event seems to have happened on March 5th, when a tourist tweeted a photo of the catastrophe and said something like, "I feel like I'm seeing something I shouldn't be seeing." So what is the killing stone? The short version is it's a large rock that was believed to encase the wicked spirit of a nine-tailed fox. Thus, perhaps, and I'm just saying what everyone on social media is saying, releasing that evil out into the world again. Yes, again. A little backstory. Reading about this myth, I find that there are two main lines of thought. One, that there was a nine-tailed fox spirit who possessed various women and caused pandemonium, disease, and destruction, hopping from one body to another over hundreds of years. The other line of thought says that it wasn't a spirit, but a real nine-tailed fox, golden-furred and sexy, and she changed into these various women, I believe always some sort of courtesan, throughout history. Fox or fox spirit, choose your poison. But I read a little more about it being a fox spirit, so I'll refer to our antagonist like that here. As always, there are various versions of the myth, but a popular one from the Edo era tells of a certain wicked nine-tailed fox spirit who possessed various strong women throughout the years and caused great calamity and violence as it did. The fox spirit first inhabited a concubine to King Zhao, the ruler of the Shang dynasty in China. Her name was Daji, and it said because of her enchantment of the king, a reign of terror was caused, and the Shang dynasty came to a close. The fox then hightailed it over to India, where it again took the form of a courtesan, this time one named Lady Kaio, who just happened to be the special friend of Prince Banzoku. Bewitching ensued, and old Prince Banzoku started slicing off men's heads. 1,000 to be exact. Time to move on. From there, our multi-tailed canine escaped back to China, ready for a second go. Again, a courtesan was the body of choice, this time one named Bao Shi. But it was soon recognized and chased away, where it went quiet for a couple hundred years, until it appeared in Japan. The next story is said to have taken place under the Emperor Konoe, or a little before him, under the Emperor Toba. The stories are similar, so I'm going to pick my favorite emperor of the two and tell you his story. And that would be the Toba version, because I like his name, Birdwing. Enter the Heian era, and cue Tamamo no Mae, another courtesan to a powerful man. This time to the Emperor Toba that I was talking about, who reigned from 1107 to 1123. During this time, he met Tamamo no Mae and lost his mind. She was not only extremely beautiful, but also extremely intelligent. They say there was no question that she could not answer. But alas, after him falling helplessly in love, Emperor Toba fell deathly ill too. It was believed to be Tamamo no Mae's doing. At least that's what the emperor's mother thought. She called upon a diviner called an onmyoji, named Abe no Yasunari, or Yasuchika depending on the tale, to consult the stars and gods and come up with an answer for her son's illness. Abe no Yasunari, or Yasuchika, agreed with the mother-in-law. Yes, indeed, it's the smart, lovely courtesan's fault. And you know why? Because she's an evil nine-tailed fox spirit. That's why. The poor thing was chased from the household. One story has the emperor sending two men, Kazusa no Suke and Miura no Suke, or sometimes called Yoshizumi Miura or Kazusa Hirotsune. They were to lead an army of 80,000 men to kill the fox spirit on the plains of Nasu. There are different stories here as well. One says that they did something called an omakigari, which I learned is a hunting technique where the hunters surround their prey in a big circle, moving in closer and closer so it can't escape. Then they can kill it. Some tales have Tamamo no Mae not being killed, but transforming herself into the big stone, or the spirit willingly hiding inside the stone, or the arrow used to hunt her was a specially carved and holy one called a whistling arrow, and it had the power to send the bad spirit into the stone. Yet another tale says that they shot her with just regular arrows piercing her neck and flank, with another warrior coming to cut her down with his sword. It was while dying, or after her death, that she changed into the stone, thus trapped. But this wily fox spirit had something left up her long sleeve. She started to release a poisonous gas, for years killing any creature that came close, even monks who attempted to exorcise it. It was dubbed Sessho Seki. The kanji are death, life, rock, meaning a rock that brings death to living things, or something like that. Killing stone sounds better. But lethal gas aside, it was a place to visit. It was decorated with a shimenawa, a kind of holy rope, and stood out there in Nasu Tochiki on this rocky slope. The killing stone among 1,000 little Ojizo statues. Even Basho the poet paid a visit. In 1957, it was designated a historic spot, although the stone's killing spree had calmed down quite a bit by then. It might be significant to note here that the rock and the statues are located near a natural onsen, or hot spring. Back in the day, it wouldn't be too strange if volcanic gases seeped through the ground around the area, perhaps killing all living things that came near. Was it a rankled spirit? Or was it stinky gas? Now, you can believe that this mysterious and captivating nine-tailed fox spirit has escaped this most recent breakage and might be looking for another host body to reside in, as to wreak more havoc upon this world. Or you can be comforted to know that in the 14th century, in 1385, August to be exact, a certain Buddhist monk named Genno Shinsho, some say using only a fly whisk called a hosu, visited on a windy day and exorcised the evil spirit in the stone, causing it to break into 3 pieces, 2 of which took off and flew to faraway places, one remaining at Nasu, of course. Some versions of the story have it exploding into more pieces. Anyway, that purification and spirit calming ritual took place over 650 years ago. The stone has been resting quietly since, not killing anyone. Well, until it broke in half, and who knows what's going to happen now. Trying to track down the other 2 pieces of rock has been a trick. It almost seems like more than 2 temples or shrines are taking credit for having one, which would be an easy and brilliant PR stunt. I mean, every shrine has rocks on its property. Quick, put a fence around that one. Let's dub it the Killing Stone. I'm kidding. No one would ever do that. From what I can find, though, the second chunk of Sessho Seki made its way all the way to Okayama Prefecture, Maniwa City, to a temple called Kaseiji, where it still resides today. In the photo I saw, it was kind of in a rock jail, surrounded on all sides by these short stone pillars. The 3rd piece traveled to Fukushima, to Isasumi Shrine. It's supposedly located in the Sessho Seki Inari Jinja. Remember, Inari relates to foxes too, so that's some quality naming there. That one has reportedly harmed and caused some natural disasters in the area, living up to its name. Unlike the one in Okayama Prefecture, I didn't hear anything about that. There were some other places that laid claim to having some of this cursed rock, if you want to look into that. For example, in Kyoto, at Shinyodo, there is an ojizo that is believed to have been carved from a Sessho Seki, which is downright cruel, right? People go to ojizo statues to pray for comfort, offering little gifts. Imagine going and being poisoned by the little guy. Although I didn't read about anyone actually dying or falling ill from that one. It still makes you want to see it, though, doesn't it? Back to our main Killing Stone. It seems like it had been cracked since 2021 or before, and no foul play is suspected. Just your everyday disruptive spirit breaking free from the confines of its stone to stir up some shit. Another interesting tidbit I came across. Evidently, a lot of cosplayers go to the Nasu area, where the original is located, to take photographs. There is an inn nearby called Ishikawaso that has a room set up for those who want to cosplay and take photos. It even has costumes, wigs, makeup, lights, parasols, the works. The owner has been a cosplayer himself for over 25 years. Also, I found that every May there is a sacred fire festival at night where the participants all wear white and carry torches and walk from the Nasu Onsen Shrine to the Sessho Seki, the Killing Stone. I found some photos and it looks pretty intense. Every single person wearing white, gold sashes, blonde or white wigs, and fox masks. There are flutes, singing, drumming, dancing, storytelling, and an enormous bonfire. I wish it wasn't a 5-hour drive away. I'm intrigued. The Yahoo News article ended mentioning that the town of Nasu is considering bringing in some equipment to fix the broken stone. However, it's possible that instead of spreading a curse, the broken Sessho Seki will bring in a lot more tourists now. And that is a very good thing. So I'm going to leave off right here then, on a positive note. If you want to check out our new show, Uncanny Robot Podcast is waiting for you. AI-generated stories that are surprisingly great, very entertaining, thought-provoking, and weird. And the sound is really good too. Thank you all for listening. Thank you patrons and supporters. My horror folktale retelling of Shuten Doji is coming soon. I'm at the part where the Oni eat the people. I'll talk to you all again real soon. Bye-bye. You've reached the end of the show, and I just want you to know how much we appreciate you listening and supporting us. Any subscribing, reviewing, and gushing to your friends, family, even random strangers really does help keep us going. If you have the means and you want to help a little more and get a little more, we are making extra content over on Patreon, all for only $5 a month. Or if you like to read horror, you might be interested in my Bram Stoker-nominated short story collection, The Carp-Faced Boy and Other Tales. 本当にありがとうございます. Thank you again, and I'll talk to you real soon.